of those pieces, that entire job is gone. That entire industry of coloring and hand coloring is gone. From when comics started to when they started just going digital. I actually almost pretty much hate digital art, digital coloring.
I do.
They've gotten better at it. But everything was like just a purple to blue gradient, and just we're going to gradient everything and select each part in Photoshop and just color it. And I was like, it doesn't look good. I'd rather see someone's terrible hand-painted job of coloring.
Oh, so would I.
But the idea in general of an entire industry being gone, there are no colorists left.
Right.
And if you didn't go digital, which they didn't, they're all gone. Just that job isn't there anymore.
Right, and that's why you see a lot of them now. You don't see the colors. You see
The
Richard
company.
Starking's company, and now there's 12 people working for him. That's who's doing.
Right.
Except for some of the guys who got the foresight and said, "I better start learning to do this." I better learn to do this, and they still have a name. You know.
Exactly.
Because I have some of that, as you were saying, the colored sheets or the colored art.
Yeah,
too.
the colored art. Yeah,
and I got some Aquaman photos, and I never had anything, but I had a customer who we always talked about our original art and stuff, and he told me about the colored. I go, I've actually never seen those. And he came in and he goes, hey, look, I got like 4 or 5 of these Aquaman ones here. And he gave me like 6 pieces.
Really?
Because
they were not expensive.
They were going for like $3 a piece.
Oh, that's cheap,
yeah. Right. He goes, here, take a few of these. Now you can have these with your artwork. Because I mean, it still is another form of art.
It is.
It's not the original art, but it is the original color. And then then they have all the codes for when they give it to the printer, colors. So they know what colors to do for the printer. Yeah,
and you can see where they've colored. Sometimes their paints are going outside, and that's okay.
Yeah,
I like that. I like seeing it. I got them framed.
But you know, when that came in the comic though, that all got condensed in, and it wasn't out. It was right.
You see it right.
That was all cleaned up when it hit the paper. It's No, and I missed that, and like I don't buy any original art anymore of new stuff. I don't either because there's no wording on it anymore either.
Right. Oh,
because it's all digital.
Balloons? Yeah. The little word balloons?
Yeah.
I have... Wait. Why am I blanking on the name of the book? It was the first one that Lobo appeared in. It's the Omega Men.
Yep.
Omega Men. Now, DC Comics paper was bigger than Marvel paper. And it would say, this is DC Comics paper. It's bigger. When I had to get it framed, it was bigger than the Marvel paper. And all the little word balloons, and you can see where they had whited things out and drawn over them. And the little word balloons were on there, like with lines on the balloons, because they were light blue. The blue doesn't show up when photocopying.
Right.
So you would actually see the lines and little word balloons, and then there was an alternate, like, word balloons. It's just neat to see that stuff. It was a real big part. The lines of tape where the word balloons are glued on, and the tape's all browned and it doesn't hold on anymore.
It's great.
Right,
and that's what because you bought page 3.
Yep.
Right. Well, now if you take page 3, there it is. It's there, except without the scribbles and shit on it. Right.
Yep.
Nowadays, it's just the artwork with no words. Well, then again, half the books are just artwork with no words, anyways.
Right.
But it seems like
that's still better than the '90s when there was so many word balloons in an X-Men comic book. The picture was down here.
Right. Well, it's almost like a George Perez thing.
Yeah.
Even though George Perez is great with that, but when he wrote something, he had so much.
He was the master of the multiple level word balloons all the way down the side of a panel that were all attached with the lines.
Oh yeah. But the artwork, it's there. Like I actually have a cover. I've cover art.
Yeah, right by me.
This is the cover art to the Digital Webbing Presents book that I'm on. That's me.
Yes, you showed it to me.
Right. Well, this is the cover art now. It doesn't even have the title or anything on it. You bought it back in the day?
It was stuck on there.
It was all stuck on. Digital Webbing would have been. Everything would have been on there.
Right.
That's what you have. It's cool. Well, I have it because it's my cover.
Right.
But I would never buy it because it doesn't have anything on it anymore.
Now, my exception to that rule is, so I mostly stopped buying it, but then there was artists I specifically like Jay Lee, who I love. His art is so fluid and beautiful, and his use of negative space. I don't want any word balloons on his stuff. Yeah. I have a great I think it was Hulk versus the Thing, a full splash page. I don't want words on that. When I want classic stuff, like I have a Peter Parker page and I have some Punisher pages, I loved having the word balloons and seeing the behind the scenes of things. Just when I was a kid, comics just magically appeared, and I just assumed that's just. How did you make this?
Right.
I don't know. It's like, how did Kiss write these songs and guitar and make it? I don't know. It just appeared and it was there. It was magic, and I didn't think about it. And then to get this behind the scenes of seeing the word balloons. And they've got these lettering and everything is perfect. And I was like, whoa, there's little blue lines. And to know that blue lines don't show up on photocopy when they're copyists and shrink it down. And I agree with you, seeing that on that classic artwork. So I don't care about new artwork either, unless it's something beautiful and clean, like I said, like a Jay Lee piece of artwork.
And you want that splash page, right?
The splash page, yeah.
Like
I've got the Hulk going to punch the thing. I don't want a word balloon saying it's clobber in time, or slobber in time, or something.
I have like one of my Spider-Man art that I have, and it's the first piece of art I ever bought, and it only has Spider-Man on the bottom cover, on the bottom thing.
That's my Peter Parker.
Right. He's on a Brinks truck, right? If you flipped it over, you saw where the artist practice drawing a Brinks truck on the back of it. So you got all these sketches on the back where he was just practicing before he did. I says, that's something you don't see it anymore because it's all done on computer.
Yep.
And it's
on pads. There's not even going to be artwork to buy at some point.
Right. You could have it, huh? 134, 135 would be great together. It's a 2-part story. Yeah. So he's got 134. He's getting 130 for the 134 though.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's good.
Yeah, and you're down to 20 issues. That's great. How many are you down to now, Scott? Too?
Oh, a bunch.
More than 20? Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's definitely more than 20.
Oh, that's right. You need like 1 through 31 or something.
I don't even have like 1 through 30. I don't.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I remember. I need one more She-Hulk.
One more sensational She-Hulk.
23, right?
Yeah.
No, 23. We're gonna keep an eye out for that
okay.
too. 23.
And then I think 2 or 3.
Got an extra one?
Savage She-Hulk.
Extra? No.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Buff has 23.
Does he?
I think he does.
Which one's 23?
I don't remember. I don't think it's one of her blue
ones. It has like a
ones.
shadow on the cover. I think it's like a orange and red cover.
I think I sold that to you in one of the last She-Hulk runs he has, and he has a whole run of Savage She-Hulk. So
you finished the run?
Yeah, I finished the run.
Okay.
Remember I had a couple of sensational She-Hulks and some She-Hulk stuff in that box over there. Well, out of that collection, I ended up finishing up his Savage She-Hulk out of it and some of the sensational.
Nice.
No, I don't have 23.
Oh.
24, not 24.
Oh, 24, all right.
Yeah.
Buff doesn't have anything.
I don't think it's anything in particular.
I don't think it either. I think I should bring it in. We'll put it in the middle of the floor, and I'll have you will have both of you run towards it, and maybe fight for it or something.
Does this look like it runs?
This entire book was done digitally. I can guarantee.
Yeah, I don't think
nothing for him to sell or have online or anything like that.
Now they do. You know what they do with that? Now they make prints.
Yeah,
they do it. And they make prints, but it's still not original art. It's a print now. It's So I mean, So it's that thing. It's a lost art. I mean, I suppose lettering is a lot easier now.
Lettering's another lost art.
Yeah.
I mean, in thinking about how small, even on these pages, because you have a lot of artwork like I do, it was still small writing.
Yeah.
It was still small writing.
Yeah.
And you've got to figure out how you're putting in the writing, and then all of the exclamations, the thooms and booms.
And I'm not saying this is any easier. I'm not. I still respect the letterer, all those, because they're still lettering. But now it's all on computer. Hey, but you know something? It's a lot easier just to play with the font on the computer. Oh, now that wasn't good. Delete and do it. Once you stop writing that shit out, oh, this sucks. You got to do it all over again. It's
wait, this is actually more forgiving. It's probably a better way to do it. I'm with you in that. I don't want to come off as the grumpy old man, get off my lawn, I'm yelling at clouds.
Right.
Like, oh, I hate the way they do things. No, this is great. You made art, and if I enjoy the story, I don't care where the letters came from.
Right.
But it is lamenting this lost art a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, an industry of people who hand-lettered is just gone. The people who hand-colored is just gone.
Gone, right.
Had to find these inks and mix them. Like, that artistry is gone. And I'm glad I have some of those pieces of that original color art.
Yeah, me too.
And it was because it was younger, it was 20-something years ago. It was way more affordable. I could have this hand-colored Daredevil cover or splash page, and it cost me $20 instead of a real piece of art that even at the time was going for hundreds of dollars.
Right.
That's why I have weird original art. Although I love, like I was saying, Peter Parker, Punisher Annual, this or that. There were weird things that nobody really cared about, and they were never going to be worth a ton of money. But to me, I'm like, I have an original piece of art.
Right. One of one. There's no others. Right. There's no others.
You touched on some of I probably told you this story probably 20 years ago, but it's a funny story. One of the reasons I stopped mostly buying original art, and I especially didn't use eBay, I bought a page from Deathstroke the Terminator. and it was a splash page. And it was Deathstroke the Terminator in classic Rambo fashion, shirt off, giant gun, and everything like that. And I ordered it, and it was a company in Detroit sold it to me, I remember, and sent it to me, and I was so excited, and I opened it up, and it was a splash page of him laying unconscious on the ground. It was not at all what I ordered. And I messaged the guy, and I emailed or sent the message to eBay or whatever, and I said, this is not the right thing. He goes, no, you ordered page 7. It says page 7, right? I'm like, yeah, but that's not what I ordered. Turns out there's the number of pages the artist makes, and then renumber it with the ad pages.
Oh.
So he goes, oh, I sent your artwork to somebody else. Sorry about that, can't get it back. He goes, send me the artwork, and then I'll send you your money. I was like, I'll keep the artwork, thanks.
Yeah.
Because it's still a big splash page of Deathstroke the Terminator dead
But
on the
it
ground.
isn't him holding a gun like
Gun-
Rambo, right.
But I still appreciated it, and I still liked it, and it's a splash page.
Yeah.
You know, there's no words on it or anything like that, but it is a nice piece of artwork. But that's one of the things that got me away from buying original art as well.
Yeah.
Or if I'm at a con, I'll buy it directly from the artist.
Right.
And so forth. And I think that's going to be a lost art too.
Yeah. Well, now they all have their art dealers that you have to deal with. That you deal with now.
Yeah,
Unless you go to
Albert
con-
Moy. Albert Moy is a big
Yeah.
one. I bought art through him. I think I bought my J-Lead art through Albert
Yeah.
Moy. If you ever go, it's like albertmoy.com. But he's got a stable of artists that give him all of the art.
Right, and he goes and
Yeah.
he brokers it now to
He
sell it.
even sells Frazetta stuff.
Yeah.
It's nice. I mean, it's like Frazetta sketched on the back of a business card some guy gave him, and it's $15,000. I look at the website and I dream about getting those things.
Yeah, yeah.
But I buy this odd stuff, and that Deathstroke was the first one that I took a jump and spending a little bit more money.
Yeah.
You know, and I laugh now because it wouldn't be a lot of money now, but when I was young,
Oh, yeah.
my late
Yeah.
20s or something, that was a lot of money.
Right.
So I'm buying Punisher Annual number 4 by some artist I've never heard of, but I have a piece of original art. Like you said, one of one. There are no more.
Right.
That's it. That's it. I
Yep.
own this one-of-a-kind piece, and I do love that. So it makes me miss it a little. I get them framed nice and put them. Sometimes the framing, because I want the glass that doesn't let UV through, and it's no glare glass, and I want it to look nice. And
Sometimes the frame costs more than what the art costs.
yes, that's exactly what
Yeah.
the framing ends up costing more than the art.
Yeah.
Even if you get the half-off coupon at Michael's, it's
Yeah.
still...
That's usually when I do my frame, when I get the coupons from Michael's. Exactly.
exactly.
It's the only time that's when you go buy your frames. You buy more than one. All right, I'm getting a bunch.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, and I need the matte that when they cut through it, it's the same color as the rest of the mat. If I do like a black mat, I got to do all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's a one-of-a-kind piece of artwork here.
Yeah. I got most of mine hanging up there. I'll get some that doesn't hang up. I just don't have the room anymore to hang up some of it.
Yeah.
But it's there. I still have it. It's there. But I keep some in house. Once in a while, I'll go through and I may take a couple off and I'll just put something else in its spot, just to kind of rotate it out with something different to look at. But my Spidey stuff stays all the time. That's my favorite out of all of it. So. And my two best Spidey pieces I actually got for Christmas gifts from friends at one time.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool. Like I said, when I bought the Spidey piece, the one I could afford was the one with the little tiny Spider-Man on the.
Mine was like a Peter Parker from like 1982, and you like your Peter Parker's face and Spider-Man's this big down in the bottom, and that's all I could afford.
Yeah.
But I had Spider-Man artwork.
Right. My favorite one
we're taking anything away from me. It was Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. That's it. My favorite Spider-Man I have is actually I think from Spider-Man, the McFarlane Spider-Man, but it isn't McFarlane. It was later on.
Right.
I can't remember who was doing the art at the time.
I
But
thought Larson took over for him.
he did take over that, but he didn't stay on it long either.
Maybe it was Bagley.
And I know Bagley was an amazing. I'm talking Spider-Man after
Oh.
McFarlane got his Spider-Man
The actual
title.
Spider-Man book.
Yeah.
Got it.
And then I think Larson took over for that too after him. And then it was around 25, 26, 27. I remember he was fighting. It was Excalibur, but Captain Britain was in it.
Captain Britain.
So the piece that my buddy got me has him and Captain Britain, and he's fighting the Sinister Six. So you've got all villains,
classic.
right, and that's one page, and this, and so you get the Vulture over here, Doc Ock over here. It's like, what a great book. I don't remember who the artist is in the book. It doesn't matter. It was awesome. He got it from me for Christmas, and it had like every classic villain on the page too. How could you go wrong?
Right.
That one never moves. That's always hung up. It never gets rotated out. Yep. That one's always there. Over.
Oh, gotcha. Good. Thanks. My screwing every while I'm shuffling will still take me, 45 seconds.
Tell me, screw the name. You should get a card. you don't want to be the low guy. The guy with the low card has to pay a life. So if you feel you got a shitty card, the guy next to you could have a better card. You take his card. If you have a king, though, you can stop it. So if someone wants to take your card, you have a king, you flip the king, he's stuck with his card. King somebody king him just so we can see it for television.
Five paying, right?
Yep.
Took my ace. All right.
The covers kind of give me a headache on this.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy. I can't even tell issue to issue. I'm like, do I have this
Well,
one?
it's funny. Like, I can't read every single issue in the back. Right. I can read some of the titles, some I can't. But if someone says Department of Truth come out, yeah, where is it? I go, look at the most disgusting artwork you can see on there. You'll find the cover, and people walk. Oh, I got it. It's yeah, because their covers have awful art. It's the same clown that does the inside. It's yeah.
And I don't say I love the artwork, but it doesn't bother me in reading it, and I can see through it. And again, it's the same general idea.
Well, because the story's so good. If the story's only mediocre and that artwork was in it, I'd stop reading. I'd just stop reading. I read a lot of mediocre books,
right?
Because I enjoy them, but I know they're not the greatest. But the artwork doesn't totally suck in it either, so you can read it. But if you have that artwork with just a mediocre book, it's an unreadable. That makes it an unreadable book. But the book is so good, it's still readable even with that artwork.
And what's talking about, I was sort of picking on this artist here because I look at this and I'm like, you could do this in Photoshop. This is easy. You take photos of your friends holding the telephone and then you Photoshop it. You do the curves, you posterize it, and boy, you've got this artwork. That's what it is. But ultimately, is that actually better from the artist's perspective than some guy sitting there cramping his hands, wrecking his hands, drawing hours and hours on end and then getting underpaid for a page? I mean, they still talk about how criminally underrated 99% of comic book artists are. Their page rates are just in the toilet. Even some of the bigger people. When you ultimately look at how many hours they spend doing it and add it up at the end of the year, you're like, all right, you think that artist is making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, but probably not. That's still why they're at the con trying to hawk their prints and their stuff.
And that's where they make their big money.
Right.
But you know something though? It takes that for them to be at a con to hawk their stuff to make big money. Yeah, it's right. So I mean, they're still. And
I'm not saying this isn't easy.
No, I'm not saying. Hey, look, I'm going to. I mean, I get a lot of criticism because I trash on art all the time, right?
Yeah, but it's funny.
But but the thing is though, is like I know they're better than me. I know it. I can't do it. I mean, even this stuff I don't like. Even that clown on Department of Truth, I can't do that. All right, but that's not what I'm getting at.
Nope.
It's like what's pleasing to the eye now.
Yep.
Right. There's no doubt I still can't do his artwork,
right.
and I admit it.
Right.
But that's the whole point though of art where you can discuss what you like, what you don't like, and that I don't like.
That's what art's supposed to do. Art's supposed to elicit an emotion, and that's what we're having a conversation about.
But something.
Humberto Ramos still stinks though.
Yeah, I don't like
Terrible.
Humberto Ramos either. No.
Talented, can't do it. Probably spends a million hours drawing that shit.
Yep. Not a style I like, though. Yep. Good for him. And he's making a living off it, so be it.
There's probably some 14-year-old juggalo that loves that art.
Yeah. I know personally me, no one will buy my stick figures. So it's, because that's all you're getting from me for art.
I'm actually not a bad artist. I can draw comic book stuff. I can draw. And it's so much work. And people say to me, like my mom will say, she's go, how come you don't draw anymore? Sometimes I'll see I was digging out some comic boxes, some of my old art was all rolled up in there, and I was like, oh man, I haven't seen that. I did a Sasquatch from Alpha Flight and hand colored it with marker and orange with the different colored oranges and everything like that. I was probably 22 or 20 or something like that. And I would have loved to have done comic art. And I was like, this is so laborious. I cannot do this. Right. So that's why I'll still give Humberto Ramos or whatever.
Because that guy can do it fast enough to put out a book or two every single month.
Right.
You got to give him some respect for that too. It took you 7 days to draw one Sasquatch. Right. You're gonna put out a book once every 3 years. You can be like Kevin Smith. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still waiting for that one of those books. Maybe it was a Millar book, or I don't remember. It was a Spider-Man limited series. I think I'm still waiting for the last issue 18 years later.
Yeah. Well, he did. It's funny because remember when the first Daredevil movie came out?
Yeah.
Not Deadpool. Bullseye. In the movie, obviously, he had his bullseye tattooed to his head, right?
Yeah.
Well, Kevin Smith was doing a book to tell you why this had happened. One issue came out, and nothing else has ever come out. One issue came out and ended on a cliffhanger. I think Bullseye took a toothpick, threw it through a window across the street, came out through another window and killed a guy. And like that's
not how science works.
And then another issue never came out.
Never found out.
Never found
how it got
there. It's going to be coming out. It's going to be coming out.
It was like the origin of how he got like that in the movie.
Yeah.
So it was like a comic origin. I got it.
So what is it?
Vaguely remember.
2002 when that movie came out? 2003 maybe?
Yeah, I think it was 2002 and Electro was maybe 2003.
Yeah. So issue 2 still hasn't been out. Yeah.
So I don't know if my my guitar player George ever contacted George O'Connor. He has his own. He does his own comics. He usually does crowdfunding to put them out. And he goes around to all the small stores. I gave him your information. I was like, go to Comic Book Palace. Glenn will put stuff on the shelf probably. Just tell him you know Randy. I said, he'll either hang up on you or put it up there. It
depends how you treated me the last time you came in, okay?
Did my credit card go through?
Yep.
Then I treated you well.
Yeah. Abused me, but treated me well. Yeah.
But I see what he goes through with his artists and the people he deals with and trying to get these books out the door and how much money it costs even to self-publish these things. And it's so much work that I can't even fathom trying to do it month to month. That's what you're talking about. These artists that even if you like them or don't like them, they're still getting the stuff out. Whether you like this guy's digital art or you don't like that guy's hand-drawn art, they're still getting it out and doing these things. And you and I have talked about this. One of the reasons why I stay away from indie books because they take so long for these people to get out and they're sometimes so slow that I can't follow it. I end up buying a big company book because I know it's dependable and I can read it every month.
Right.
I don't want to say and I can wait for your next crowdfunding campaign. I want to support you and I will, but
taking too long.
It just takes too long. But I see the effort that he puts into writing it and editing it and getting everybody on board.
Yeah. So, it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. So
right, these things it seems like people that aren't on it, they just walk to the shelf, everybody, I got my book. It seems like, again, like you said, as kids, hey, they just appeared here. Right, they showed up, right. How much work could this possibly be? It shows up, right.
And I just assume these artists just knew how to draw people in these positions. I didn't know they had muscle magazines and just copying stuff from the magazines. Like, what? Is that cheating? Because there's some picture of the Hulk and he's lifting up a boulder. They just took that picture out of a muscle magazine where he's holding up weights and they just said, well, I'm just going to trace that over there. Now
don't they say Greg Land uses porn stars or something? Or,
yes. Yeah. Because he does that all airbrush looking.
Yeah. But you want to know something, though? I love Greg Land's art. I don't care how he gets it, where he gets it from. I love his artwork. Right.
And that's what comes back to Maliv, and you I've discussed and debated that forever. I love his artwork. Even though I can guarantee you half of it is just cheating.
Yeah.
I still love it.
Yeah.
As long as you like it, who cares?
Right. I don't care who he modeled this woman was modeled after. I don't care. He does fantastic artwork and I love it. I like the way it looks. It's pleasing to the eye. I'm okay with it,
My friend Nicole does paintings and she does Nicole Lemire, actually. It's Jeff Lemire's last name. But she does.
Hopefully, draws better than Jeff Lemire.
She's a good painter, and she gets a lot of commissions in a lot of different styles. And one of the things that people really come to her for is female comic book things. So she'll do paintings of Harley Quinn and this and that, and Poison Ivy. And she actually got a commission for Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, and Catwoman, all in sort of maybe not PG rated. It wasn't dirty or anything like that, but it was, all the girls.
Risque?
Maybe Poison Ivy had Harley Quinn up in Vines or something, whatever it was. But she was talking to me, and she's like, I've got to look up for a pose for Poison Ivy. What is she going to be doing this? I'm trying to figure the composition of this photo. So I was helping her, and we go online, and what are we doing? Looking at nudie ladies in poses. We're looking up all porn on the internet to try and find the best pose for this photo so then she could sketch it and then paint it. So very Greg Land there.
Right. Hey, you know something? There's a lot of different styles when you're looking at the porn, so it's...
But ultimately what the point was, I'll try this book. Thank you.